choose who goes next.
Michael.
Okay. Go ahead and open that up. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately. And now, by process of elimination, Nathan.
Oh, yes. And by the way, I've got us live on YouTube at the moment. This is a test. I don't know, Anyway, this is a test, but we are live on YouTube. I'm looking at, there we go. So, okay, let me pull that script up. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately. Cars and other sets sold separately.
Okay. I haven't missed anyone, right? That's everyone.
No. Ain't nobody out there.
It's a bad joke. It's a
Hang
bad
on,
joke.
let me run into the studio and I'll read from there.
Yes, we'll have Megaphone Mouth Productions. Go ahead and read. All right. Anyway, so let's go ahead and actually talk about the script now. So once again, standard question, voiceover or voice under? What kind of script is this?
I think this is probably voiceover.
Okay.
It seems like it's not quite talking about, it doesn't seem like it's talking about anything that's happening on screen. You're just kind of like the voice tends to be just the central kind of idea here. But just my take.
Okay.
And it's obviously set to images on TV, but I still have to agree. This sounds like voiceover to me.
Nathan, do you have opinion?
This is voice under. This is pointing at some serious highly energetic visuals on the screen. Kids playing with cars. There's all kinds of things happening. This is your atypical, well, for those of us who are of a certain age, Saturday morning fare, which they show this probably on Nickelodeon on a daily basis, So it's one of those things where it's like you are wanting those kids to run in there and going, I want those cars. Mom, I want those cars.
Okay. This is definitely voice under. Reason being is, yes. So it says actually in the direction, this spot will be aired on children's syndicated television networks. Hot Wheels is always audio visual. So you are always referring to something that's going on screen. This is 100% voice under. So again,
it's not different in that it's targeted to kids.
Nope, not at all. Not in the slightest. The only thing that's going to be different is your energy approaching it, is your personal excitement and how you're going to communicate that in your voice. That's going to be the big difference. Otherwise, the technique is still exactly the same. It's especially voice under. I suppose you could say it that way. It's specifically, or it's even more that, in my opinion, because kids are not just going to listen to just you speak. There's going to be flashy images. There's going to be fun stuff on screen. There's going to be a lot happening in front of their face. And that's the most important part.
So you want to be energized in an understated kind of way.
Absolutely. And that's where that's where the I think the real interesting challenge for this particular script is going to come from, is because, yes, you're going to have to be energetic and excited and happy with this read, but subdued about it. So you're going to have to use a lot more technique than you normally would to communicate that. So for instance, you're going to be using vocal strain. You're going to be using, you should be more animated with your body while you read it. This should be a very physical read for everybody involved. So yeah, it is voice under. So You are not the center of attention. You are not going to be up front and in their face. Drivers, start your engines. It's not going to be that. This is voice under. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the actual script itself. Really short, but there's a bit going on with it. When it comes to high energy reads or excitement, what are some things that you think of when you think of an excited read or an excited sound?
I don't really think, I just put myself in the mood.
Yeah, just thinking about just trying to give more life. And I know it's your favorite bit of feedback, but just more energy to the read and just kind of like hitting some of those words just a little bit harder.
Also, and tacking a smile behind that thing,
Mm-hmm.
a real genuine, I am really super happy about this product,
Well, then instead of the actual sound itself, let's talk about the mindset. So when you want to put yourself in like the mindset of being excited about something, how do you do that? Where does your mind go?
I would visualize a bunch of kids running around and I'm trying to get their attention and focus on this Hot Wheels thing.
Yeah,
it's cool and fun.
I'm almost like imagining the commercial as it would look, and just like this super exciting, awesome, sweet, super loop speedway, super intricate Hot Wheels. You're just like, wow, that's the most exciting thing ever. And just trying to like get in the mindset of like seeing that and almost like, remembering playing with Hot Wheels and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. For me, when I think of something like this, in order to try to connect to it a little bit more, or in order to try to, I suppose, sell it a little bit better, the phrase that goes through my mind that I try to communicate through my excitement is, "You've got to have this." Like for me, it's I have this. I absolutely love it because I'm not an adult. I'm just a big kid, and my board game collection should show you that, but I love this. I've been playing with it myself. It's super cool. You've got to check it out. It's funny because I actually do draw on the personal experience that I have with board games. Whenever I get one, I just want to find somebody, connect with them, and share it with them. I just want to talk about it and play it with them and just see how they light up whenever they get it on the table with me. So I try to draw on that. Like, what is the most exciting thing, in my opinion, for this? Like, for me, again, I just want somebody else to experience it with me. And that's kind of the driving force, at least in my opinion. So we have a good idea of sort of the overall like concept of where we want to go with this read. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and talk about it. If you notice, there is a surprising lack of something for an excited read in here, and I'm wondering if you guys noticed it. So again, this is supposed to be a high energy, fun, friendly read, but there's only one of something in this script where you'd think there would be more.
There's only one sentence that has an exclamation point.
That's it.
Yep.
There's only a single exclamation point in the entire thing. One.
Yep. Under "Be the world's best driver."
So that means that this doesn't need to be, everything needs to be played up. It just needs to be, okay, this is super cool. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway.
Yeah.
You're not trying to sell the whole thing the entire way through. It's just, all right, this is really cool. I could see the be the world's best driver. Actually, if I was going to reformat this, that would probably be on its own line. So it's drivers start your engines, then line break, gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Superloop Speedway, line break. So instead of having this all as one paragraph, I'd actually break these up because I think each one of these are sort of tied to a different scene. When you don't have a whole lot of dialogue, if there's not a bunch of words on the page for you to read, you can kind of infer that if this is going to be even a 15-second spot, you only have maybe 5 seconds of dialogue here altogether. So it's going to get broken up and used in different scenes. Again, super important to try to see what's going on. Always do a little bit of research before doing something like this. Look up other Hot Wheels commercials. Look up, how they've done it in the past. And go with that, well, maybe not necessarily exactly that, but try to get to know how they market themselves and how they brand themselves and whatnot.
Yeah. Thank you for that little bit of direction because see, that's what I did.
Mhm.
Okay. Seeing Hot Wheels. Okay. I'm as of this month, 52 years old. So I've seen a lot of Hot Wheels commercials in my lifetime because, well, one, even though I'm 52 years old, I still watch cartoons. So, they're there. Well, with the exception of streaming, because you don't see those. but growing up, the way I delivered it was actually the way I grew up watching it being delivered. So it may have informed my performance quite considerably. Because
Well,
I'm remembering what it was like when I was 10 years old watching the Hot Wheels commercials going, oh, I gotta have that car, Mom.
it's funny. I remember it was only a couple years ago where one of my nephews, he was younger at that point and a lot more impressionable, and he would absolutely get just super enthused about any infomercial he would watch. Like he would run up to his mom and dad and say, "Hey, we have to get this. This looks so cool." And he would just be ranting and raving about all the features that he had just learned about. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, that's what advertising is supposed to do, right? It's just maybe not necessarily the target demographic, but it worked out, I suppose. But I think about that. I think about what's going to get a kid to feel that enthused about the read. What's going to do that? And there are certain things that you do need to go ahead and focus on, and let's go ahead and talk about those. So drivers start your engines is pretty straightforward, right? I mean, this is obviously the intro to everything that's going to be going on. Gear up for a wild ride. I think wild ride needs a little something. It needs a sparkle, either an underline or a different color or something like that. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Superloop Speedway. Do not muddle that up. Do not just rush through that.
Yeah. That's the first thing I noticed when I read through that script was when I was reading Superloop. I had the mic muted, and of course I had my camera muted, so nobody was practicing it. But I'm like Superloop. My head immediately went to Superloop. It's like no Superloop Speedway. They gotta hear that entire product name because it's 3 separate words. But don't go Shatner on it. Do not go Shatner on it. Superloop Speedway.
Right. But here's the thing: is if we're going to use the whole bracket idea to split concepts, like we've done in the past, I would bracket Hot Wheels and Superloop Speedway separately because those are 2 different ideas. Hot Wheels is the brand, but the product is the Superloop Speedway.
Absolutely.
So gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Superloop Speedway. that's when it's going to have like the full shot, maybe of the speedway setup in the box. Sorry if you heard me whack my microphone a little bit there, getting a little animated here. This is like it's like most people's morning coffee for me. It's morning voiceover. But so Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway, those are two separate ideas, and they need to be emphasized separately. Be the world's best driver. So when you hear that, and we're thinking of a Hot Wheels commercial, what do you see going on? What are the scenes in your mind when we get to the, be the world's best driver?
Now, if this was several, I mean, multiple years ago when my kid was younger, he was a big fan of Jeff Gordon. And you say be the world's best driver, and my son would probably immediately going, I could be Jeff Gordon.
Yeah.
And that would go into the mind of whoever the best driver in NASCAR is right now. I don't follow that, so I have no idea, but still I would get
probably most kids won't follow that one either.
No, but they'll get an idea.
Be surprised.
I'll
My
be the
nephews
best
are
driver,
huge NASCAR fans.
But again, though, what do you see going on the screen right at that point? Like if we're going to, so again, this is voice under. We're matching ourselves to something going on screen. What is happening at that point?
The vision I immediately get from this is like two of those big, long, straight orange race tracks and cars running down them, and one of them is a little faster than the other.
Yep. And a kid going, I won! I won!
Yeah, exactly. The kid in the background with the hands up, woohoo! I kind of, because Hot Wheels, it's almost stereotypical at this point, where in like every single commercial, there's a couple of them that collide in slow motion. I see that happening right here. You've got a couple of them colliding in slow motion, doing something crazy, and then one of them gets through, crosses the finish line. You have that kid in the background with the hands up. That's what I'm saying at that point.
They're never going to show the cars colliding into furniture the way they actually do.
Or flying through windows if you overclock the launchers and whatnot. Although I don't think they sell those anymore, do they? But so be the world's best driver, sort of like, congratulations, you won. Those two have the same energy.
Yeah.
And then Cars and Other Sets sold separately. You could actually probably include that because this is so short. Like I wouldn't necessarily think, I mean, I don't think it's a bad choice to go ahead and, drop your tone, Cars and Other Sets sold separately, and do that then do it like that. But you probably don't actually need to do that with how the script is written so far. And I'm sure that Hot Wheels has had more than its fair share of controversy concerning that and concerning their marketing. But you probably could just go ahead and include it if you wanted to do it that way. So like, be the world's best driver, Cars and Other Sets sold separately. That could work.
You can't make it sound like, yay, the Cars and Sets are sold separately.
Well, no, but again, like, you can drop your tone a little bit there. Cars and Other Sets sold separately. And you don't necessarily need to go Cars and Other Sets sold separately. It doesn't need to be like,
full on legal.
Exactly. So, seeing as how the script is so short, that's pretty much it. Does anybody have any extra comments or questions? Anything that we haven't actually discussed yet?
I'll throw a little color on the word best, just because.
Yeah.
I would say almost like world's best, but maybe just emphasizing best is probably the way to take that. Kind of like how you said a little sparkle around Wild Ride. It's like world's best. Or you could say world's best, depending on how you want to take that.
Yeah, no, I agree. A little bit of color right there definitely is going to sparkle that up a bit. Sparkle. All right. Anything else? No? Then let us go ahead and get back into the reads, starting with Leonard.
Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
All right, let's get some feedback. What does everybody think?
I think maybe hitting best, like it was really hard. I think it's great. But maybe just take it down like a notch. It stood out way too much for me, I think.
Yeah, and on top of that, you can probably slow that down quite a bit, especially on Cars and Other Sets sold separately. You're not selling micro machines.
Okay.
This ain't no Micro Machines commercial. This is a
You know.
Hot Wheels commercial.
Yeah.
But
But I did
the fact that you're not selling for a dealership selling actual cars, you're selling Hot Wheels cars.
Mhm.
You can bump that down a little bit, especially for the shortness of this spot.
Yep.
Because I mean, these lines is gonna take it'll. You're already going well under 10 seconds. You know.
Okay.
So it's like you got lots of room to play, and I'm sure the commercial itself is probably maybe 30 seconds, and they probably have separated all of this out. Each line you read is going to be somewhere else in this commercial, you know,
Mhm.
and of course the Cars and Other Sets sold separately is going to be right at the back end of it, you know, and possibly voiced by somebody else, because you know they do that sometimes.
Sometimes, but if it's included in the script, they probably will have you read that.
Yeah, that yeah, just kind of, you know, got to dial it back just a little bit for Cars and Other Sets sold separately, because this is more that's the more informational part of the script right there.
Okay.
You know, the sales part is from Driver Start Your Engines to Be the World's Best Driver, and then Cars and Other Sets sold separately is letting these kids know you're not getting all of this.
You have to nag your parents more if you want the rest.
If you want the rest, you're gonna have to say, okay, this is on my Christmas list, Mom. So anyway, just slow it down a tad.
Okay. Here it goes again. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Superloop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and Other Sets sold separately.
All right, opening it up. What do everybody think?
There was a nice texture that you had on Wild Ride. Like I really like that.
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you.
I think the energy was a bit more subdued this time than it needed to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was feeling right there. It was just more subdued energy. So
Yeah.
Keep the energy, just keep the pacing.
Yeah, keep the pacing, up the energy.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, when I slowed down, it dropped the energy as well. So
Yeah.
I need to adjust for that.
Just throw a big old smile behind it. That should help.
Okay.
There you go.
Next try. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Superloop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and Other Sets sold separately.
Okay. I think I've pinpointed exactly what is killing the energy.
Okay.
You're ending every sentence on down notes. With something like this, if you want to approximate some form of excitement without actually going into like that really fast tone that most people do, end off on up notes or mid notes. Drivers, start your engines. You can even slow it down. It'll still sound excited. Drivers, start your engines.
Okay. I'd be inclined to do the Speedway line.
Yeah,
more medium or up, and not the start your engines.
Well, I'm just using that as an example, but use some more of those techniques. Again, you're you want to, since you're not going to be speaking super fast, you want to approximate excitement in other ways. Best way you can do that, mid notes and up notes to end off sentences. So vary up the way you end the sentences. So you end in, if you want to do that, then the only down note that you should have is the very last sentence. Everything else should be mid notes or up notes. So anybody else have anything? Nope. Cool. Whenever you're ready, go for it.
Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Superloop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
Okay, opening it up. What everybody think of that one?
It sounded good.
Yeah, that one had more. I mean, your tone was good. Again, you're coming in well under 10. Even if you feel like you're going really, really slow, you're probably not hitting the 10-second mark, and that's okay. That's okay. But because there's so little room for it, we definitely want to make sure that you are communicating all of the excitement that you can in a reasonable and understandable pace. So, yeah, that was better that time, definitely. In my
Would
opinion.
you like me to try slowing it down more?
No.
Okay.
I think you're at the right I think you're at the right speed right there. Anything else from anyone else?
Maybe it's just me, but I feel like each of the individual sentences felt a little bit more disjointed than it normally had. It was kind of like, drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Superloop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately. It felt a bit disjointed than some of the other ones.
You know, I can see that. I can see that. Why don't you try connecting it all together a little bit more?
Okay, I had actually deliberately chosen to do it that way because of your earlier feedback on putting them on separate lines.
Well, but the thing is again, even if they're on separate lines, they're still connected ideas. They're not disjointed ideas.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try again. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Superloop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
There it is.
All right. Yeah, more connected that time, at least in ideas. Still too many down notes, in my opinion, for the endings.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of felt like I heard more up notes, like especially hit that speedway much differently. I don't know. I personally, I thought this was your best read.
Okay. And I'm happy to do another one to make Michael happy.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let's get one more, but try to connect the ideas while still ending off on mid notes or up notes.
Okay. Drivers, start your engines. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Superloop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
All right, now you're sort of getting cartoony.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's a new one for me, but I see it.
Oh, goodness, I've influenced you.
No, be the world's best driver. It's like, okay. Trying to solidify exactly what it is I'm listening for. Okay, so maybe I need to rethink the direction that I gave you. Drivers, start your engines, I feel could end on a down note.
Okay.
But the next two sentences, gear up for a wild ride and be the world's best driver, I think you could end those on mid notes or up notes. So you said, you said the Superloop Speedway, you could end on an up note, which I completely agree. But be the world's best driver. Sorry, excuse me. I think my allergies are up or something. I've been sneezing like crazy lately. But Hot Wheels Superloop Speedway, I think it'd be good to end on an up note. Be the world's best driver. I think you can end that on a mid note, and then Cars Another Set sold separately. You can end on a down note. So down, up, mid, down. That's just the way that I'm hearing it. Let's give that a try. We'll see if that works, and if I'm over directing, then it'll sound like it.
Mm-hmm. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Superloop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and Other Sets sold separately.
Okay, this time, what do you all think about that?
It sounded good and energetic. It sounded less down notey. If that's a way to say that.
Down notey.
Down notey. Here we go. We got another new phrase, down notey. It sounded like it had fewer down notes. So he sounded way more upbeat, more there and connected.
I don't know. I think down notey is probably the right term.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like that read. I thought it was good.
Okay. If I was going to get super nitpicky about it, I would say don't push yourself into that higher register, because that's where the cartoony sound is coming from. It doesn't necessarily sound super genuine. But again, that's getting super nitpicky at this point. So
no, I'm good with super nitpicky.
Okay. Well then, yeah, I would say don't push your vocal register into that high of a tone.
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah, it's good. So let's go ahead and move it right along, shall we? Andrew, you're up.
All right, give me 1 sec. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Superloop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and Other Sets sold separately.
Okay, opening it up. What did you all think?
It sounded to me a little like you were channeling your inner child, perhaps too much. Like you were putting on a bit of a childish voice there, just a touch.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'd like to hear it come in more in your natural voice.
Okay.
I 100% agree.
Okay.
Good. I'm glad I'm not the only one who heard that. But yeah, just be genuinely excited about it. Don't try to play this up for an audience. Just be excited about it. Like, think about something that makes you happy, or something that gets you going whenever you get it, or whenever you're able to interact with it or do it, or things like that. For me, again, it's board games, and my collection is a little bit telling. But for me, it's that. So whenever I think about opening up a new one, or actually meeting up with people who've never played one before and actually walking through with it, that gets me excited. So think about what does that for you. Even if it's, it's that voiceover, whatever the case may be, just draw on that. So whenever you're ready, give us another go.
Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Superloop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and Other Sets sold separately.
All right, opening it up. Let's get some feedback. Personally,
sounded just a little bit kind of like you were a little disconnected from it. not really caring about too much. I mean, it sounded somewhat excited, but it didn't sound, super energetic.
Okay.
I like that you lost the childish element to the voice. So good job on taking that direction. For me, the biggest note was you went super down on the Superloop Speedway.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, just end that one off on. I mean, I'm actually going to disagree with Nathan. I like that tone. I felt that it was a really solid read. The only thing that I didn't like about it was starting off with that laugh, and don't think it really served your performance very well. It kind of interrupted the flow of what you were doing. So don't include it.
Okay.
Because again, it sounds like we're trying to be more. I hear it all the time. Whenever somebody adds in a laugh, it sounds like it seems like they're trying to sound more connected or genuine or real. It comes off as nervous.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the only person that works for is Jimmy Walker when he's doing the Medicare commercials that he's been doing. He literally opens it up with "Hi."
Well, even then,
Jimmy
that's
Walker, and it fits his personality, and it's just him.
Yeah, but the other thing is, it's also a full-on laugh.
Yeah,
this is sort of interrupting what you're saying.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah. If you want to start off with a laugh, go ahead. Start off with a laugh and then get into it, but do not combine the two.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. No laugh. Sorry, I'm trying to end Speedway on an up note or mid note, and then we'll see how that goes. Okay. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Superloop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
Okay. And well, since Nathan, I believe, has stepped away.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I just had to mute my camera for a second.
No problem.
Yeah,
so think?
It actually sounded pretty decent. And
thank you.
Leonard, thoughts?
Pretty decent. There is room to improve there. I'm not quite putting my finger on it, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me see. See if I got some good feedback for you, because we can't let you off too early.
All right.
We need content. I'm just kidding.
Content.
Come on, we're on YouTube. Content.
Slave to the content. But so let's see. It seems like you do need to bring your tone up just a little bit. So, for instance, you're starting off with like, drivers, start your engines. I think I'm over exaggerating how low you are in your register, but you can bring that up just a little bit more. So instead of like getting close to the microphone and whatnot, stand up, give us a smile. Drivers, start your engines.
Okay.
Be a little bit more physical.
Visualize some, I don't know, 8-year-old boy or whatever that you're talking to.
Okay.
Oh, you said you have nephews, right?
I do.
Talk to them.
Okay. Give that a shot. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Superloop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
Okay. What did you guys think?
I want that Hot Wheels car. That guy on TV told me I wanted it, and I want it.
There you go.
So the thing is it sounded like you didn't really have a clear grasp of it on the first sentence, but the rest of your read was right where I was hoping you were going to be.
Okay. Excellent.
So I want to bring it all in line, though. That's the thing.
Okay.
So
Sure.
Think about that tone that you were in. Think about that mindset that you were in, and give us 2 reads back to back. So just go through it once and then go through it one more time.
Okay.
So
All right, let's try that.
whenever you're ready, go for it.
Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
Okay. I would probably take those two and blend them a little bit. Like if I was going to be editing your takes, I'd
Sure.
blend like the first half of the second read with the second half of the first read.
Got it.
Yeah, I like the directions you gave, Michael, and I think that the second driver start your engines definitely fitted better than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So sometimes there's this magic about getting through scripts. So naturally, when you're going through a script, you'll realize that you start getting better and better as you get lower and lower in the script. I suppose you could say, you know,
Sure.
even with these short ones, it always happens. It is a constant thing where the more you read a script, the more the second half is easier than the first. So there is some magic, especially if it's really short, to going through it once and then immediately going through it again, because you're already on that roll. You're in the zone for that last half. And if you just roll right back in with that same mindset, it really does change up the read. Now, again, with this one, I would probably take your opening and first sentence, or the first two sentences from your second read, and then the end of the first read. And I think you'd really have a fantastic blended read that way. But that's kind of the mindset that I'm in when it comes to this. But I would love to hear you be able to put everything all together, one full solid take with a full performance.
Maybe do a lead in with "Be the world's best driver," and then "Driver, start your engine" all the way through the finish.
Yeah,
Okay.
why not?
Yeah, I can try that. Give that pre-life and see if that gets me in the right headspace for it.
Go for it. Go for it.
Be the world's best driver. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
Yeah, I would say that's the take. My opinion,
Excellent.
100% that's the take.
Okay. You didn't think I hit world's best driver on too much of a down note? I felt like it was a bit there.
I felt the whole thing sounded really good personally. I don't think I'd want you to change it up that much from where you were.
Yeah,
Okay.
it didn't register with me as any kind of problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
If it doesn't stick
Excellent.
out, it's not an issue. Even if it's breaking the rules.
Right.
But again,
right.
what rules are there?
Yeah. At the end of it all, it's like, where we're going, we don't need any rules.
There you go. Excellent.
If you ever watch Greystone Plays, we don't need rules where we're going. But yeah, no, it was fantastic.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
No problem. All right, now it's my turn.
It's your turn.
Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
Okay, opening up. I felt you had a touch of the whispery quality that you sometimes get in your voice that doesn't quite work for me with this script.
Yeah,
be
the script's
wary
not
of
an
that.
active hush kind of script.
Mm-hmm. That was the first thing I noticed. Was like the whisper driver.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I'd take the active hush out of it, and I think it'd be fine.
All right. Let me give that a read.
Please do.
Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
Yeah, that was better. Had the energy, had the nice upbeat feel to it. The you know how everything's going to fit into the commercial just right under all that very highly active video and more than likely seriously crunchy music that's going on, because they got to have something going on that's going to kind of fit that.
Sounded pretty solid to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say I really can't think of anything. It was a really solid read.
Okay. Well, I mean, if that's good, then I guess we'll move on.
Right.
So, Nathan, you're up.
All right. I may go deep south with this, just enough. I mean, come on. I live in NASCAR country. I also live in football country, but that's another story. Anyway, drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
Okay. Opening it up.
I have a hard time judging it with that accent. And I would never expect to see it here in my market, but maybe they would use it in another market.
Well, you see, the thing is this is going to be syndicated, so it's
Mhm.
It'll
It's
be in
national.
all markets.
yeah, it's national.
Everybody's going to see it.
So, while I would think that would be a good take to sort of get you into the mood, I wouldn't submit that one.
Okay. I'll dial it back into me.
Yeah, definitely.
Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
I'm going to quote. That was Justin who was here. Jay Louis. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to quote Justin and what he said in chat. That was hashtag down notey. Every single sentence ended on a down note.
Okay.
And that did not serve your performance.
Okay.
Also, careful how you hit wild ride. I heard wild ride.
I got you. Noting.
All right. Give
Okay.
us another take whenever you're ready.
Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
So with this one, you were overthinking your world's. No, where was it? Where was it, Andrew?
The wild ride.
Yeah. You overthought that, and that instantly threw you off.
Okay.
I felt like you were in a little too high of a register on it. Don't know if that's just me.
I disagree. I don't think it was
Okay.
in too high of a register for it because, again, his voice can naturally reach those registers and still sound comfortable.
Yeah.
So I mean, it still sounded comfortable. I don't think the tone should be the focus right now. Definitely, it would be just smoothing the whole thing out and not ending off on so many down notes.
The thing that makes it funny is because this is my natural voice.
And that's and
I trained myself to talk lower so I would be taken seriously as a man, because at 5 foot next to nothing and having the skinny body of a teenager, who's going to take me seriously as a 52-year-old talking like a teenager, huh? So anyway, I've learned to balance it out, but I will adjust, just maybe take it down to the middle of the road somewhere. Okay. Maybe. Just to see how it goes. Okay. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
you're getting closer now. That was really good, but you're still ending every sentence on a
I
down
don't know
note.
how I could trip over a word like cars, but I did.
I mean, you're a voice actor. You're going to trip
I
over words you've
stepped on
said
that Hot Wheels
thousands
car.
of times before. No, but again, we want to, the thing that I really want to curb is not your energy, it's not your tone, it's the down notes. That was
Okay.
the issue with the last two
Yeah.
reads is all of the down notes. So
I'll stick it back to my more natural
Yeah.
tone. 'Cause I think that's where the down note thing's hitting is me. Hang on. Thank you, allergies.
so yeah, the thing is I don't know how you want to note that, but on your script you really need to note the choices that you want to make there. So driver, start your engines, mid note, gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Up note, be the world's best driver. Mid note, cars and other sets sold separately. Down note, I don't know how you want to mark that for yourself, but that needs to be something you pay attention to, because your tone is good, your pace is good, you sound comfortable, you sound excited, but that excitement is curbed by the fact that every sentence ends the exact same way.
Okay.
I think part of the problem there was you went super high on this super loop, and then there's nowhere to go there from down. So you went super loop speedway, and instead go more like super loop speedway.
Yeah.
Okay. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
You did the same thing with the super loop speedway.
Yeah, I was going to say that it was pretty much. It's getting closer. It's getting better for sure. How would I direct your thinking on this? What
Just
is
say,
the way
super loops? Say super loop speedway, where you don't go high on the super loop. Just super loop speedway.
That time, actually, I thought he ended on a mid note. It was like more super loop speedway. So he didn't go quite as far down, but he took the energy out of the next phrase. So like you're like all super loop speedway, be the best driver. Where it's like you're talking about the super loop speedway, be the best driver. So like, I felt like all the energy was kind of sucked out of the be the best driver, where that's the one sentence with an exclamation point.
Yeah. So here's something that I was thinking, like, if you start off on the right foot, the rest of it will work well. So drivers, start your engines, give us a point, start your engines. You want to make sure that you're giving it that you better do what I'm talking about sound, that music, not the tone, but that music, rather than drivers, start your engins.
Go,
because
speed racer, go.
Drivers, start your engines. Point at us, let us know you want it, because we're about to go on the ride. This isn't the
Jim,
end
let's
of the
go.
call.
All right.
There you go. So whenever you're ready, from the top.
Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
And you're still ending off on the down notes. Drivers, start your engines.
Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
Super Loop Speedway, best driver.
Yeah, you got that first one, and the rest of them ended off with down notes. The Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Take think of it as a Hot Wheels jump. Speedway is your off ramp.
Okay.
The car's building up, and when it hits Speedway, man, right into the next one.
You know what?
I think the biggest thing is just to
go for it.
Yeah. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
It's the super loop. It's always too high.
And
and then you go down from there.
Yeah, and this one was really loud, like very
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah, you were
Not
coming
very
in hot.
Yeah, you were peaking. Not very
Okay.
conducive for the voice under style.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
peeking.
But the thing is so you started that last one after I gave you that little point. You started off great. Drivers, start your engines.
Okay.
But with this last one that you gave us, you didn't do that. Drivers, start your engines. So again, it's all about it's not so much about being like loud and upfront and excited. It's about your tone. It's about, hey, this is really cool. So what's your favorite game right now?
What's my favorite game right now?
Yeah, that you're playing or that you have played recently. What's one that just really sticks out in your mind that, yeah, I had a lot of fun with that one?
Oh goodness.
Or one that's really, really close to your heart.
Actually, I'm very excited about the fact that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is coming out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, there's that, and I've been super excited about having played Tales of Arise because it's very good.
Mhm.
So in general,
And Joe is in that one, right? No, he's in Xenoblade.
he's in Tales of Vesperia.
Tales of Vesperia, that's the one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So when you play those games, think about that feeling.
yeah.
Think about the enjoyment that you had. Think about, something that you discovered, something that you did that just totally did that for you.
All right.
That's the mindset you got to have. Don't think about anything else. Don't think about any of the directions. Just feel that. And once you're in that, just go for it.
Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
All right. What everybody think of that one?
I want to hear a take where you deliberately go super low on the words super loop.
Super Loop Speedway. Yeah. Just start low and go all the way in.
Super Loop Speedway. Wait a minute. I was just going to try this. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
Think of it as going up a ramp like a ski jump. So the Super Loop Speedway. So you're going up the ramp on the Super Loop, and then on the Speedway, you take off and fly.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of thinking about it. I kind of like that lower tone personally, but if it's not as natural or comfortable, I wouldn't stick with it.
Oh, well, I mean, for me, it is because, well, character.
I like the tone on that one too.
We go with, hang on. Drivers, start your engines. Gear up for a wild ride around the Hot Wheels Super Loop Speedway. Be the world's best driver. Cars and other sets sold separately.
Yeah. You know what? That one actually worked.
That's where I needed to be. Right down there.
Yeah, I like that read. I thought that
Yeah.
was really good.
Yeah, it was pretty solid.
I was avoiding it for the longest time because my head's telling me, don't do the announcer thing. Don't do the announcer thing.
I did feel it was an announcer thing.
Worked.
You know what? For this one, for how short it was, yeah, absolutely. My only real nitpicks, I'm not going to have you reread it, but my only real nitpicks on it are you hit your real hard in the first one. Driver, start your engines.
Gotcha.
And be the world's best driver. The emphasis was weird. Be the world's best driver.
This should have been a little bit more emphasized. I got that.
Or driver, one of the two, either best or driver. Either be the world's best driver or be the world's best driver.
Gotcha.
But yeah, otherwise, yeah, that was fantastic. It looks like, again, we just needed to direct you into a character. So then again, I think that whole misconception of commercial not being character work, that infuriates me, because I have seen character actors do commercial very well. They can. They absolutely can. But there's this weird block with some of them where they think they have to sound like a stereotypical, like 60s or 70s style commercial.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Well, considering what I just did, I actually borrowed from what I grew up with, which was, well, in the early 70s, my friend.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. You didn't apply it in the same way that it would have been in the 70s. It was it was a similar tone. It was a character that really worked for this particular script. Again, there is no distinction between character work and commercial work. Yeah. You are always playing a character. You are always getting into a different mindset than your own. Period.
Absolutely.
It's just with character work, you need to do more. You need to do extra work to get to know this person's personality more. Mm-hmm. Where in commercial work, your focus is mostly on what is the person hearing. Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily a difference of type. It is a difference of focus. That's it.
Yeah. And I'm hearing Pat Fraley echoing in my head. What's your personal style? he did a whole thing on that. I've soaked myself in a whole lot of everything voiceover over the years, and Pat Fraley has been one I've leaned very close to because, well, one, he's a character actor. The man knows his stuff. I mean, he was on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, my friend.
He was in a lot. That man is incredibly prolific.
And so it's one of those things. And he just had a birthday yesterday. So, hey, share a birth month with Pat Fraley. Cool. Happy birthday, Pat.
If you ever see this.
If you ever see this.
But, well, I mean, we reference the man all the time. So that, again, it doesn't. Anyways.
I'd like to have him on the mic check. Hey, that would be a good one to invite on, right?
Let's reach out. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All righty then.
You never know.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. So I think that's it. I think that's good.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
So too.
Well, yeah. So this has been a fun little experiment. Weekend mic check on YouTube. Not just posting it to YouTube, but also streaming it onto YouTube. Yeah. And we'll get back to a regular rotation here soon, and maybe add some more, because I'd like to get some more activity going. I'd like to get more people on as well, and I think now's the time, to be honest. Yeah. So anyway,
yeah. And this YouTube thing, it seems to be working pretty good. I've been glancing. The reason why I'm looking over here is because I've got a browser open on this side. And it's a little bit time delayed just because of the way it's streamed.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's working. I had to, of course, mute it because I was hearing us twice.
Yes, of course. But anyway, so thank you all so much for joining. All the links are down below, and we'll see you next time.
Oh, and by the way, guys on YouTube, hey.
Here
we go.
Oh, there you go.
You're on YouTube. Hit that little button down there. That button, the subscribe button. Come on.
All righty then. Well, that's that.
See you guys later.
Later. Okay.